We got a chance now to kind of review the season with the head coach of the football Giants. Tom Coughlin joins us now. Coach, welcome. How are you?
Hi, Mike. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thanks for a couple of minutes. You know, interestingly first, and I know this gets lost sometimes, I think, with a lot of the fans, too, is even when the season's over, how you finish a season, there's no meaningless games to coaches. And being around the coaches a long time, I know that's true, and it does get overlooked sometimes. So I know you have to be proud of the way your team finished the season.
Well, I am, Mike. I am. I understand everyone and their feelings out there, and of course the expectations were much higher than this. But to go through an 0-6 start, to finish the last 10 games with 7 wins, to win our last 2. You know, let's face it, we were outclassed in a few of these games, and but to finish winning 7 of the last 10, I am proud. But I'm most proud of the resiliency and the way that our players hung together, stuck together. You know, and the famous Nelson Mandela quote: "Don't recognize me for my successes, but rather how many times I got back up when I was knocked down." So that's kind of the way our team finished the season. We played hard. We didn't accomplish as much as we wanted to. We did stick together and battle for the most part the entire season, and so that's kind of what I'll remember in terms of our captains. Our captains provided outstanding leadership, did a nice job in the locker room. Our team stayed together and was able to prove that by the way we finished.
You know, there was, when you get back and look at it, there was a disconnect somewhere. And I look at the Dallas game, and I know something went wrong. A lot of times games get off badly. That one did. And there was obviously a big issue with turnovers, which are always destructive in every game. But it just seemed this team just never could click offensively this year.
No, we didn't, and we didn't score enough points. You know, we came back home from Dallas. We were very disappointed. We scored 31 points. We gave them points. You know, we handed them that last touchdown, and yet, you know, the turnovers are always going to kill you. There's no way around it. Look at the game last night, the Alabama-Oklahoma game. Same deal. Played more like an NFL game than probably some that I've seen. But nevertheless, you're not going to overcome that, Mike. You're not going to. And the other thing is we never scored. We didn't score a lot of points this year. We hung right around that 21 number, and quite frankly, it wasn't enough. Now, the second Dallas game that you're talking about, in that combination, you know, we drive it the length of the field and we score. We go for 2, we score, we tie it up, and we end up losing a game right after 4 straight wins, which that hurt. That one hurt because it would have given us a chance.
It would have been a different season. I think you would have won the division. I really do if you had won that game.
I think that would have put us in position to do that, and our guys came right back, but that hurt. That one hurt.
It did hurt, and it seemed to be that was just missing. And in the last couple of weeks, you've heard it. The owner said the offense is broken. The players talked about a disconnect with the wide receivers. There was, and listen, there's a lot of breakdowns. We can go through them. There's a lot.
Sure.
But it just seemed like for whatever reason, and maybe it is all part of the same problem, there just did not seem to be that the quarterback and the wide receivers were on the same page this season. They just did not seem to be on the same page.
You lost an element of trust in a couple of ways. When an individual turns a ball down, or when a recognized route adjustment is not followed, and the quarterback throws the ball in anticipation, and it becomes an interception. You have things of this nature happen. It seemed like we had too many of them in the very beginning of the season, and then when you couple that, Mike, with the fact that our offensive line continuity right off the bat was disrupted, and really in getting other people in position to kind of try to solidify that, it took a little time, and that time cost us, ball games, particularly early going in the season.
Did everybody make a mistake on Wilson in what Wilson was able to handle with this team? Was it too much put on his plate at the start of the season? It seemed like a lot of eggs were put in his basket.
Well, there was a lot of that going on, and there was a natural hype, obviously, because of the Super Bowl being here, and we all understand that. That's part of the business. David, you would never know that was too much for him because he's a very confident young man, and so on and so forth. But the fact of the matter is, we returned to that give the ball away philosophy early in the Dallas game with fumbles and interceptions, and they just kind of ripped the ball away from David in a couple of situations, and one was point-blank range when it happened. So I don't think it was too much for him. I do think he got off to a very bad start because the question had always been, is he going to be able to come out and handle and take care of the football, a return to what he did as a rookie, and fumbling a couple of balls and having to get sat down for a little bit to get himself straightened around. And I honestly thought that he would come out and take care of the football. It just didn't happen in that first game.
We're talking with Tom Coughlin. Is there anything that jumps out at you that you want to change about your offense, or you just want to get your people back to playing better?
Well, we want to execute better. Obviously we'll do whatever we have to do to get into the end zone. I would like to have more consistency in the run game, and I think that takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback, and it brings your play action pass. We run an awful lot of what you call sell it routes right now, and that's really good. But again, in order to get people to sell out, they got to think it's run. So I would like to think we can get back to some of that. I don't think if you look at the stats, Mike, you'll see games where we rushed it 35 times, which is that kind of that golden number, and you win like 92% of the time when you rush that many times, and I certainly would like to have that kind of balance again.
No question about it, and obviously get back to some of the things that go with it, because the ball didn't go downfield with any efficiency this year, and that's been a trait of yours with this team and with Eli. Eli's been very good at throwing the deep ball, and that was not there for this team this year.
You saw that late post ball, and we're kind of used to that. We're used to seeing that deep outside ball, and Reuben Randall jumped up and caught a couple of those earlier in the year. We're used to seeing that post ball. We can be better at that. I know that. But again, you've got to be on the same page between quarterback and receivers to get all that done.